Okay, let's see here. Time to record today's Last Looks episode. All right, on War of the Worlds. Okay, yeah, let's see here. Just gotta open up my Dropbox folder, download my script, voicemail messages, the theme songs. Wait, what the hell? Everything's gone. The corrections, the omissions, all the listener-submitted theme songs, all of it's been erased. Oh, man. If producer Scott accidentally deleted the Dropbox again, I am going to fire his hairy little ass. Scott, what's going on?
Paul, thank God.
Where did all the Last Looks data go?
I don't know. There's a freaking alien invasion, and I think they ate all our data.
Aliens invading Earth to eat data. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I know it's stupid, Paul, but think about it. What better place to hunt for beloved data than 15 years worth of podcast assets in the How Did This Get Made Dropbox folder?
I don't care, Scott. Just get me the Last Looks data now.
The aliens are eating her. And then they're going to eat me. Oh my God.
Scott, move! Scott, get out of there! Run! Run! Scott, get out of there!
Ah! I'm dead.
Oh, that didn't look good. Well, I mean, I really never liked Scott. I mean, everyone knows producer Molly is like the real backbone of the show anyway. So, the only trouble is, without all the Last Looks data, how am I supposed to respond to the listener corrections and omissions on War of the Worlds, a movie that Discord user Vinod S thinks should have had the tagline War of the Worlds straight out of computers. Vinod, that's good. And how am I supposed to play my pre-recorded Just Chat with Jason where we talk about all the TV and movies that we're currently obsessed with? And how am I supposed to end the episode by announcing next week's new movie? If only I could simply fix everything by saying, "Hey, Amazon Alexa, recover all of the Last Looks data."
Last Looks data recovered. Oh, I also destroyed all the aliens. Hooray, Amazon.
Whoa, thanks, Alexa. I guess I can start doing the episode again. Alexa, play opening theme to How Did This Get Made Last Looks.
Playing the How Did This Get Made opening theme song, now.
From the California accent of Jason Statham to the giant jaw of Robert Sedar, we proudly present to you a universe containing 5 stars. Proprietors of trash is what we are. How did this get made? Dialogue cliched. How did this get made? Who the hell got paid? Surely not Jason, June, or Paul. They're the ones that have to watch them all. They've got to watch them on a bus or a train, or the middle seat of an airplane where people think that they are going insane.
Oh, yes! Thank you, Tom McWaters, for that opening theme song, and RIP to our producer, Scott. But I'm glad the show will go on, and it's all due to Alexa. You know, for a long time, I thought War of the Worlds didn't make any sense, but now that I've lived through it, it makes every bit of sense. Now, remember, if you have an alt movie tagline like Vinod S did, submit it to us on our Discord at discord.gg/HDTGM. And if you have a Last Looks episode theme song, go to HDTGM and click Submit a Song. It's super easy now. Remember, keep these songs short. 15 to 20 seconds is best. Before we dive into corrections and omissions, just a heads up. How Did This Get Made is returning to Largo in Los Angeles on the 22nd and 23rd. There are still a few tickets available, but get them fast because they sell out quickly. Dinosaur Improv will also be at Largo on the 18th with Jack McBrayer. That's right, Danielle Schneider from Bitch Sesh, Corinne Wells, and Rob Riggle. It's going to be a fun one. So get your tickets, LA. I also wanted to shout out an awesome new book called Podcast Pantheon by culture critic Sean Mallon. It's a comprehensive canon of podcast history told through the perspective of 101 different shows. And there's an entire chapter in the book covering how did this get made, which I am honored to be a part of. The book comes out on September 16th, and we will drop a link in the episode description if you're interested in checking it out. I like Sean a lot. I think this book is going to be great for all you podcast nerds. I will say, slightly offended that How Did This Get Made did not make the top 100 podcasts that kind of covered the scope of podcasting. We've been around for 15 years. There's another list we weren't on. I was a little bummed. But lists aren't everything. You're everything. People who listen to the show make the show. And you know what? I'm just going to focus on that. I don't need those damn accolades. Yeah, sure, I was bummed about it, but I don't need them. And you know what? I'm not going to stop it from putting on a great show. So let's get into it. Last week we talked about War of the Worlds. Well, we had questions, and we might have even missed a few things. Here's your chance to set us straight. Fact check us, if you will. It is now time for Corrections and Omissions.
Got an error. Don't you worry about a thing. We're here to correct. Corrections and omissions. We're on the case. Take it away, Paul.
Thank you, Carlo Teofilo. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. For that theme song, let's go to the Discord. Soap Trail writes, are we to believe that Ice Cube, a hacker who regularly checks his daughter's fridge, Cam, I should add, because he has no boundaries of his kid's privacy, would have not accepted a Facebook friend request from his daughter's baby? Daddy, I think you're missing. For several years? He would have accepted it instantly to snoop on this guy from day one. Soap Trail, you are right. You left out a couple of key words. But yes, it feels to me more like Ice Cube hasn't checked Facebook in a long time after his wife died. That to me is where I feel like, look, I want to agree with you, but I also want to pay homage to the great writing of War of the Worlds. Dove writes, the chyron on the TV over the footage of a plane crashing said, passenger jets are falling to their death. I'm pretty sure that planes aren't alive. Yeah, Dove, you're right. But you know what? When the aliens are attacking, that person who has to come up with those graphics, they're going too quick. Too much news is happening. By the way, I would love, that should be a show, right? People who just have to put up news chyrons. I mean, I guess that's not a show. I had a great show with Adam McKay. Oh, it was so good. Andrew Guest, one of the greats. He had a good show. And then pandemic killed it. Anyway, it was about cable news. Anyway, Johnny Unusual writes, there are 6 camera angles in the Amazon delivery truck. Is that the case with actual Amazon trucks? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but that is terrible. Scott, our producer, who is deceased, did say, although 6 cameras seems excessive, according to Vice, Amazon does use AI-enabled cameras to monitor drivers' speed, location, and actions on the road. Wow. That's scary to me. But I'll tell you one thing, my Amazon packages come on time. Although occasionally I'll get something from UPS. It's like, oh, we couldn't make it out today, or there's some sort of obstruction. It just seems like they didn't get to it, but they make it like it's your fault. And then when you kind of follow up on it, it was their fault. Anyway, let's go to the phones. Riley from New York, what do you say?
Hey, Paul. I just finished listening to the War of the Worlds episode, and I wanted to comment as a volunteer EMT on your discussion about first aid. First of all, Jason was completely right that if you have a foreign body embedded in you, like a shard of something, you do not want to take it out. That thing is probably keeping pressure in your blood, and taking it out will release that pressure and also maybe rupture an artery. But however, your discussion about tourniquets wasn't exactly right. So applying a tourniquet does not mean that you're going to lose that limb. The science has changed, and there's been a lot of progress made in aftercare of applying tourniquets. And the general consensus is if you apply a tourniquet and then seek hospital care within 6 hours, there won't be any lasting damage. After 6 hours, there's the potential for nerve damage and necrosis, and maybe you'll lose a limb, but it's not guaranteed. But, for in the case of this movie, if the character had gone to the hospital within 6 hours of the tourniquet, then they would not have lost that limb. Hope that's interesting to you. All right, bye.
Riley, thank you for this. Thank you for your service, but also for opening my mind about a tourniquet. I, first of all, didn't even know that was a possibility. A tourniquet meant you're going to lose a limb. So when Jason said that, I took it at face value. And now you have disputed it, and I appreciate it. Oh, my gosh. And look at that. Medicine, science, all working together to make us live longer. But great to know that if you apply a tourniquet, someone's not going to be like, you're making me lose a limb. So I feel like, because I imagine when you're tying it off, if you were to have that in your head, you're like, wait, can I just see a doctor before you just do this action? This is probably because Jason's watching that show. It's like a battlefield show that he likes to watch. And I'm sure he's probably equating the two things. Thank you, Riley from New York. Simon, what do we got?
Hi, Paul. I wanted to talk about something you touched on in the War of the Worlds episode, the multiple ways that people were saying data or data. And as June says, there's only one way of saying it right, which is data. I thought you might find it interesting to give a little background of how that became the standard pronunciation, as it could be due to one of my British countrymen. The story that Brent Spiner tells, who of course plays Commander Data in Star Trek, is that there was, at the first ever table read for the first ever episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, Patrick Stewart announced something like, "Mr. Data, please scan that warp signature." Everyone there assumed this new character was pronounced Data, but Gene Roddenberry had a rule that the first person to say the name of a character or an alien or whatever made-up word they needed in that show, that becomes the way that you say it. So Mr. Data became set in stone, and because everyone pronounced data that way, whereas they used to say data, but then they were saying data on a primetime TV show, that became the standard way to say it in general. Anyway, love the show. Saw you in London last year, and it was wild, and I hope you come back here soon. Thanks very much. Bye.
Oh, Simon, I love anyone who comes on with a Star Trek anecdote, and that is a great one. I actually always like that Data, or Lieutenant Data, Data. I felt like it was a more formal name, because why would you name a robot Data? That would be a weird Data, Lieutenant Data. Weird. It's weird. Data was a much more sophisticated way of kind of handling it. It's a funny play on words, in my opinion. So hats off to Patrick Stewart for creating the confusion, but also for creating a longer lasting legacy of a great character by not just naming him Data. All right. Thank you, Simon, by the way, for all the shout outs. Amy from Baltimore.
Hi, Paul. Longtime listener and third-time caller. Calling about War of the Worlds. It's kind of a small thing, but you guys touched on the difference in the relationship between Ice and his daughter and Ice and his son, and I also thought that was crazy. I was also flabbergasted by the fact that he seemed to hate his son so much that he didn't even add his name to that email until almost the end of the movie, well after he found out that his son was the disruptor. So I'm not really sure what that was about. Was that a choice to show that he had grown? I don't know. I thought it was wild. And then super quick side notes. I started watching Taskmaster for the very first time so that I could catch Jason in series 19. And I am hooked. I'm loving it. It's so fun. Jason is hilarious. It's great. And I went to the movie theater to see Weapons upon your recommendation, which is not a movie I would normally see in the theater. And I loved it. And June was incredible. And not to leave you out, Paul, we saw Dinosaur when you guys came to DC. And it was great. We had an amazing time. It was so much fun. We missed Jason, of course, but you guys were all incredible. So I'm actually going to see some improv back in DC tonight. So thank you for continuing to broaden my horizons, both in the worst ways and the best ways. And can't wait till you guys come to the DC area again. Better yet, come to Baltimore, huh? All right, take care. Bye.
Amy from Baltimore, great catch there. I didn't even put that together, but I'm thinking about it now, and it's all kind of circling in my head, and I'm realizing, you know what? he didn't even seem that upset when his son almost got killed. This guy is bad news. Maybe he thinks, maybe my son killed my wife. I want to get into that kind of drama of Ice Cube's world. By the way, thank you for coming out. Thank you for supporting. That DC show was a weird one. I remember that in our run of shows. We're going to be back in DC in November. Yeah, it's not been announced yet, but we will bring you a much more controlled show. We got mics now. We got a lot of things under control. That story, the woman in the audience kept on taking us on these detours. It was horrific for us, but we figured it out. All right, people, let's go next to David.
Hey, Paul. You're talking about Ice Cube being on Facebook all the time. And my friend works for a defense contract company that makes one small component of some sort of military technology, and he's not allowed to have any social media accounts at all. So the fact that Ice Cube has Facebook and is going on some of these sites is apparently a big no-no in, defense and government circles. Thank you. Have a great day.
Yes, exactly, David. My son's computer from school has more restrictions than Ice Cube's does. Now, you could say, well, he's a hacker. He hacked into it. No, because they would keep that shit at the door. It's like the Old West. You put your guns in the front when you go in to have a drink. How do I know? Time travel. Anyway, yes, this movie falls apart with any hard research, as John from Minnesota brings forth.
Hey, Paul. I've been listening since the first episode. This is my first time calling. Love you guys. I'm calling about the War of the Worlds episode. I am confused about the data that these aliens are consuming. I assume it's, let's call it records in a database. I'm a system developer. I've built many systems that contain databases, large data systems, big data, things like that. Often what we will do is we will create programs that generate dummy data to simulate user data. So my question is, does the data need to be user generated? It's extremely confusing to me why an interplanetary species that figured out how to travel between planets to consume other species' data can't write a very simple program to generate enough data or food for themselves to never have to worry about this again. Yeah, that's my question. I have more questions, but I'm not sure the writers were too concerned about these types of problems. Love you guys. Paul, love the dark web. Jason, your season of Taskmaster was absolutely the best. Dune, Weapons, loved it. Excited to see you guys and more. All right, that's it. Love you guys. Bye. Exactly,
John. Exactly. And you know what? With any amount of research, this movie falls apart. Yes, John. And I like that you even know how to generate dummy data. I didn't even know that was a thing. You can generate dummy data, but yes. And Caroline from Texas, what do we got?
Hi, Paul. I just was wondering if you guys had noticed his shout out to Ludacris when he says, "Move, bitch, get out the way," when he's going around the snake things that go into the data center. I just thought that was kind of funny. Thanks. Bye.
You know what? I did, but the way that he said it wasn't in the spirit of Luda. And it sounded more aggressive and misogynistic in a weird way. Like, it didn't come across as planned. I think you're right. It was there. I felt it, but it didn't feel like an homage as much as he's just angry. Thank you, everybody, for all the support. So much love coming at us. Thank you for listening to the show. Thank you for calling in multiple times. Thank you for calling in first times. We love it. We love y'all. And Taskmaster and Weapons is great. It's so good. All right, let's go back to the Discord to Sean McBee. The government has known since 1948 that these things feed on data, yet just decided to roll the dice with the creation, rollout, and exponential growth of the internet. No matter how invasive Goliath is, it's a drop in the bucket compared to the data footprint of the entire internet. The idea that Goliath is what rang the dinner bell is absurd. Sean, yeah, it is. I have nothing to add, but yes, well-researched, well thought out, easy point. The Mighty Beard writes, I think there was an interview with the director or producer where they said that the reason they chose Mark to be an Amazon driver is because during COVID, Amazon drivers were out there delivering all of our stuff and they were heroes. And this is why Amazon had such a big role in the movie versus Amazon forcing them to put a bunch of product placement in the movie. And you know what? I read that too, Mighty Beard. And I actually don't disagree with this. This is a movie made in COVID. The people that were out there on the trucks delivering the things, whether it was DoorDash. So I appreciate that. And I don't understand. I mean, I think when Amazon bought it, it feels a little bit weighted. Frankly, yeah. Look, I can understand this guy being like, Amazon's saving my ass. By the way, Amazon saved my ass during COVID. It saved my ass many times as a new parent, moving. There's so many things. So I get it. Amazon workers are heroes. You heard it here first. By the way, we have created a shirt for this show. Yes, you asked for it. We made it. Check it out right now at TeePublic. It is the Grandpa Shark shirt. So get that Grandpa Shark. It's a little ice cube face on a shark. It's pretty great. Permutator. I don't think you mentioned a possible connection between his kids' names and the Goliath program. Ice Cube was afraid of losing faith, but then regained it by becoming David's sling to take down Goliath. You know what? Congratulations, Permutator. You've done more thinking than the writer of this film, and no offense to the writer of this film. And that's why you are the winner of this week's Corrections and Omissions, and you get this song by Chris Finke. Hit it!
You win. You win nothing. You win. You win nothing. Except for this song. All last looks.
All right, if you want to chime in with your own thoughts about the latest episode, hit up our Discord or leave us a message by calling 619-PAUL-ASK. That's 619-PAUL-ASK. Call it anytime. It's a Google voicemail. So wherever you are, whenever you want to call it, you leave a message. We'll get it and we'll play it on the show. Anyway, coming up after the break, Jason and I will catch up about all the TV and movies that we are currently loving. But first, let's close out our War of the Worlds episode by listening to this bonus deleted scene where we learn how June can actually relate to Ice Cube. Here, take a listen.
How much the movie exists on a cluttered computer screen is a scathing indictment of how we live, and also quite stressful. Like how many open windows he had active, how much clicking around I did not like it because of how much like the world it looked.
I mean, occasionally I will see June's computer screen and it gives me an anxiety attack because there's too many files on that desktop. There's too many things open. And that's a world in which I like to keep a nice and tidy workspace. I got to know what's up. I can't take it. I can't do it. Now, June, were you comforted by his work screen?
I wasn't comforted by it, but I understood. Like,
did you feel validated?
Well, I just was like, he's got a lot going on, and he's a working dad.
A lot of it is his own stuff. Like
that's what I'm saying, though, and a lot of my workspace is my own stuff, like my personal stuff too. Mm-hmm. So it's the struggles of a working parent.
Welcome back. By now, I'm sure you've noticed that every Tuesday we re-release classic How Did This Get Made episodes back into our feed. This week's matinee covered a very different alien movie. That's 2016's Great Wall, which was a movie about the Great Wall of China and, yes, aliens, and has one of our most infamous shirts, designs, stickers, whatever you want to call it, where it's just aliens fucking each other, and it spells out the Great Wall. I love that shirt, and it is sold like gangbusters. It's like one of those like Senor Frog's sexual position shirts. So keep on. So there's a tie-in that I haven't really talked about on this show in a long time, but our replays always kind of bring back those kind of beautiful memories to me. Without any further ado, it is time for Jason and I to catch up on all of our favorite TV shows and movies, which we have not done in a very long time. And to play us in, we have a theme from Sweden. That's right. Anton Wellen, please play the theme.
Paul and Jason have things to say, and it's a fact that we can all call it. They're watching their movies, they're watching TV, they're going to tell me, we can all call it just chat.
Jason, it's just you and me back, baby.
Oh, it feels good to be back.
We are going to do a straight up recommendation segment, but I know a lot of people have been asking questions about Taskmaster, and we will do a special last looks chat about Taskmaster. Now that it's completed, the season is over. You have invaded the UK.
We did it. I've got a foothold over there.
You're finally in. You got in.
I will say it's been incredible. Finally getting to see these episodes air has been awesome. And I'm loving that people are loving it. Just being out in the streets, people are talking to me about Taskmaster, which is delightful.
Got it.
So great. So great.
All right. Well, let's get into what you have been watching and doing, because I know you've had some time to watch, to read, to get into stuff. So where are we at?
Oh man, I've been pretty prolific. I've watched quite a bit, and listened to a lot. I've got a big list. So and also part of it is my list includes stuff that, like, we haven't done one of these in a while. So
yeah, I know.
We never talked about Andor, that last season.
I can't believe we didn't do that. Oh my, yeah.
Absolutely must see TV, like maybe the best show of the year.
One of my favorites.
I'm willing to say at this point, just an incredible season of television. I'm going to shout out, I don't even know where to start. I mean, I think I talked about it in the past, but I'm going to keep talking about it. I think maybe the best show on television right now, the best continuing show on television is Dark Winds.
Yes.
The Zahn McClarnon, George R.R. Martin, Robert Redford produced adaptation of the, I think, Tony Hillerman novels, which are just banger police procedurals that take place on a reservation. It is tribal police. Every season are these big, beautiful, sprawling cases. The characters are incredible. The stories are fantastic. But there's nobody better right now than Zahn McClarnon in this show, and it is so incredible to watch. Dark Winds, there's 3 seasons of it. It's fantastic.
I'm right there with you. I've been watching, I told you we've been watching a Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's what we have been doing as a family all summer.
I love it.
And watching that show, in beginning to, we are in almost at season 6. So we've been really just chunking along.
Wow.
But we're going. And this has been a summertime show. And I got to just say, one of the best shows. I mean, really one of the best shows. It was so funny, so good. You're so good on it.
A fantastic sitcom. Like a show that, before I was able to be on it, I was a rabid fan of.
Yeah.
I love that show.
They really, really, really nail it. And I was going to tell you the other thing that I kind of missed my radar early on, and I'm reading Tom King's Supergirl right now in the World of Tomorrow.
Great.
I did not
Incredible
read that book. And wow, it's great. Wow. Like I am actively, whenever I have a chance, running to continue reading that.
I love that book. I think that book is absolutely fantastic. And that's like applicable to almost every Tom King.
Yeah, we love Tom King.
Like I think from the beginning, Sheriff of Baghdad, to now, like all of the books that he's been doing, the Rorschach book, the Mr. Miracle book, and this book especially, I think is just phenomenal.
There's certain ones that you miss. We were talking about the Helen of Wyndhorn too, which is another
great one.
All right, so what else have you been watching? Because I want to give you some wide berth here.
Yeah, I'll shout out some returning stuff that I thought was great. This new season of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, I'm having a blast watching.
Ooh, I'm so excited. I love that show, and I feel like it's getting some of its just deserve at this point. Like I feel like it really is kind of like, I feel like people are coming around to it in a great way.
Yeah, I love it. I'm having a blast with it, as I always do. It is a super fun, super silly at times show that I just really enjoy. And I think the dude that plays Spock, I think is just fantastic.
So good.
Really great. I can't recommend enough. What will be one of my favorite shows at the end of the year is the Amazon Prime show Ballard, which is an adaptation of the Michael Connelly Ballard book. So it is a Bosch spin-off, technically. And don't you worry, Bosch is in the mix.
Bosch is
for
in
a couple
there,
of
baby.
episodes. It's great. It's better than Bosch Legacy. It's better than late season Bosch. I think Maggie Q is fantastic as Renee Ballard. I think having John Carroll Lynch in there is so smart and so great. He is such an incredible grounding element to the team. I think it's fantastic. I think the cases are great. She is a terrific lead, and I love Ballard. This is my begging to please let me be on season 2 of Ballard.
I've been working on trying to get on Ballard at Amazon because I have a show over at Amazon. I'm like, let's get on this. Come on. I need to get in that Bosch universe. It's such a good show. She's great. And I do hope that, I had issues with Bosch Legacy, slight issues, but this is bringing me back to what I fell in love with original
For
Bosch.
sure. Oh, it's great. It is unimpeachably, I think, a fantastic season of television. And it's long, too. It feels like a season.
Yes.
It's not 6 episodes. It's not 8 episodes. It's longer. It luxuriates in it, which I had a blast with.
Now,
yeah, go ahead.
Can I just say, too, I know that I just deferred the floor to you, but I want to also say, like, if you've not gone out to the theater and seen Naked Gun, go do yourself a favor. I saw it for a second time last Wednesday. It was packed on a Wednesday night. It is a movie to see in a theater. Bring some friends. Have it's just very good, very good, and worth going out and seeing. I just want to support our friends Dan Greger and Doug Mand who wrote that with
Akiva Schaffer, who is a Lonely Island director. Incredible, so funny, great director.
Yeah.
Yes, great shout out. And also I have now gone back and rewatched the Naked Gun, the original Naked Gun movies.
Yes.
A bunch of Police Squad, which is so funny. The original TV show.
The
great,
TV show
incredible.
is so good.
So good.
And the reason they canceled that TV show was because, and this is at the time, the president of ABC said, well, you have to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
That was the reason for cancellation. You have to pay attention to it.
We got to get rid of that.
Yeah, got to get rid of that show. Got to get it off the air. I will say this. I find the Police Squad movies, as I've watched over the Naked Gun movies, they really degrade quickly. And to a point where I'm like, wow, what happened? But I guess what happened was less and less of the guys who created the original were there. And
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I can't recommend enough. Now that I'm so British because of Taskmaster.
Yes.
There's a couple of shows that I will shout out, some of which are, if you liked Taskmaster, I can't recommend enough past seasons of Taskmaster, including if you watched Taskmaster as a family, Taskmaster Jr.
Right.
Great stuff. But other similar shows that will scratch that itch, there's a show called Last One Laughing. LOL. There's a UK version of it. There's an Australian version of it. I believe there's a Canadian version of it. The UK version is the one that I watched. It's 6 episodes, and it is just 6 comedians in a room together, and you cannot laugh. And for 6 hours. And that's the challenge. And each episode is one of the hours. And it's just them fucking with each other.
Wow.
In a way that is so funny because 2 of the people there's only 1 season of it. And it is all banger. The cast is bangers. Almost everybody is a Taskmaster alum. But the 2, except for... The 2 geniuses they have are Richard Ayoade, who is just such an icon of British panel shows, from Would I Lie to You to 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown, all that stuff. But the true legend, Bob Mortimer, who is absolutely one of the funniest people on the earth currently. They are both in this season of Last One Laughing, and I cannot recommend it enough. It is so fucking funny. And then as well, Would I Lie to You, as well, 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown, or Big Fat Quiz of the Year. These are all British panel shows that incorporate many of the same cast of comedians who are just on this circuit of shows where they are just constantly roasting each other and being funny.
Where are you finding all these shows, though?
Oh, they're all over the place.
Okay.
A lot you can find on YouTube.
Okay.
A lot of them you can find on YouTube. Last One Laughing is on Amazon.
Okay.
It's licensed to Amazon. I subscribe to BritBox, not to brag.
Right. I didn't know BritBox had comedy on there.
Oh, it does. It
Okay.
does. It's got sitcoms and it's got panel shows.
Oh,
So I
great.
think that's,
Okay.
I think BritBox has Would I Lie to You?
Okay.
And I think 8 out of 10 Cats is on YouTube. I think
Yeah.
I just found it on YouTube. Also on BritBox is one of my favorite shows of the year. It is the David Mitchell show Ludwig, which is a this is the setup of the show. He is a character who is a kind of shut-in, who is a puzzle maker. He makes puzzles, blah, blah, blah. His twin brother, who is a police detective, goes missing. So he, in an effort to try and figure out what's happened to his twin brother, he pretends to be his twin brother, who is a homicide detective, and inexplicably starts solving cases because of his puzzle expertise.
Oh, wow.
And gets embroiled in this much larger criminal story. But it is a very light 1 hour police procedural. There's only one season of it. It's a blast. The way I'm explaining it is a little bit convoluted. So
Give me the title again.
Ludwig.
Okay.
It's just called Ludwig. It's on BritBox. I can't recommend it enough. It's fantastic.
Okay.
And again, a show that I'm dying to be on. In that way, like, there's a lot of shows right now, Elsbeth, High Potential, Poker Face, that are that kind of case of the week show.
Yes.
That also has a larger in the background macro storyline.
Yeah.
And this is one, this fits right in with those and is maybe a little better than all of them, I think.
Oh,
just
I'm
because it's
so, this is right up my alley.
very well
I'm
done.
so excited about this.
I think you'll really like that. I think that's great. Because they announced it's coming back, I am rewatching The Comeback, the Lisa Kudrow, Michael Patrick King show, The Comeback, which is
Talk about a show I want to be on that show. My God.
dying to be on it. But the rewatch is a blast. The show
So
is
funny.
so funny and still so savage and so brutal and such an indictment of our world
Yes.
and TV and everything. It's great.
And I was talking to certain people behind there, and as of all good things, based in some reality, some things that are some dark moments that people have experienced, especially at a time when sitcoms were a lot more produced.
So that first season, there is a pretty savage takedown of a network sitcom.
Yeah.
And when you're and Jimmy Burrows is in there as the director and blah blah blah. What you're watching, this is 1 year after Friends ended, and you cannot help but see it through the lens of
Yes.
all of these people have just made Friends and Sex and the City, and this is the show they're making now.
Yeah.
Super interesting. Great stuff.
I totally agree. Have you watched The Pitt?
Yes and no. I watched the first 3 or 4 episodes of The Pitt.
Yeah.
Loved it, but it stressed me out so much medically.
Yes, I agree.
that I had to stop watching it simply because it was giving me it was giving me sympathetic health anxiety.
Jason, I am right with you. I watched the majority of the show through a book that I was sitting next to June while she was watching it, because it was. The gore is one thing, which but I'm also I don't want to start to think about diseases.
Yeah, that's it. And it kind of, the same thing happened to me. I loved and watched all of, but the last few seasons of House, I was like, I'm just too suggestible.
Right.
Right now. I'm just too suggestible. And I don't want to then be thinking about well, actually, I have that. I have a little bit of that.
I don't need it. That's why it was kind of fun. June was watching it hardcore, and I could sit on the side and pay attention to the plotting. And then when it got into the sick, I was like, now I'm not into this anymore. There's an episode with a testicle turn that really got me.
I'll just shout out some other shows that I think are fantastic. Sherwood season 1, the British crime drama Sherwood, was one of the best shows I've seen in a long time. It's not a new show. It's maybe from 4 or 5 years ago, but I just watched it now and thought it was incredible. In my pursuit of watching everything that Leslie Manville does, who I think is just absolutely incredible. She's fantastic in this. She's fantastic in all the Magpie Murders. I've now, if you're wondering if I've subscribed to every single subscription service there is,
I think
the
answer is yes.
I now subscribe to BritBox, Acorn TV, and the PBS app, Just
wow,
to get,
you're on the PBS app.
Well, the PBS app just for Wolf Hall, season 2 of Wolf Hall.
Oh my God, how did I forget about that? I didn't even watch it yet.
No. Season 2 of Wolf Hall, again, a masterclass in watching someone act in that. Mark Rylance is just full stop unreal in this show. Just next level stuff. MobLand, the Guy Ritchie MobLand, Tom Hardy, Helen Mirren, Pierce Brosnan, British gangster TV series that's on Paramount. I'm having a blast watching that. The new season of Digman is out.
Oh, I love that show. Yeah,
Andy Samberg, our friend Neil Campbell's show. Mitra Juhari's on it, and it is so fucking funny.
It's a really funny show, and it's one of those shows that I think, unfortunately, is sidelined by.
Yes,
look, this is the thing.
It's trapped. It's trapped in Comedy Central.
Yeah, and it sucks. That sucks. It's like there are these shows that you just can't get out of the. It's like it's hard to find them if you're not specifically looking for them, and it's a bummer. It's a bummer, but that show is very good. Seek it out.
That show should be a massive hit that everybody should be talking about.
Yes.
But because it's stuck on Comedy Central right now in a way that is not advantageous for the common viewer to come across, I think it needs the love. So if you're listening to this, go and find it. Find a way to watch Digman. Tell people about Digman. I think it's one of the funniest pound for pound joke machine shows that's on television.
I mean, and I will say that, we've obviously everyone else has been talking about it, but South Park this season is already just killing it in what it's doing. And I watched the new King of the Hill, which I really enjoyed.
Oh, I haven't watched that. Oh, great.
Yeah, so it's really, there's a lot of fun, good animated things right now that I am enjoying. The other thing that we did is my kids have we've passed the Marvel threshold. I didn't know when it was going to happen, but we saw Superman in the theater. Then but that's not Marvel, obviously. But that was the first superhero movie that they saw. Then we saw Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm doing something that you're going to be very upset with, I think. I was like, all right. My son's like, I want to watch a Marvel. And I was like, all right, well.
Haven't watched none?
None.
Yeah, great. Okay.
So I started them with Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Sure. And
Great.
that has been a huge hit in the house. And we went on to Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And then and now we are in the the Spider-Mans, which rewatching these have been
a blast.
Fantastic. Oh man, I forgot how good that first the John Watts Spider-Man is so good. The original Guardians is so great. And I it's tricky because we've been watching these movies. We're all caught up to date. And it's like I wanted to bring Gus in. I'm like, he is not going to make it. He's not going to get them.
All the medium stuff. All those mid movies. You don't want them to lose sight of it.
I kind of was like, if you get really into this, we can go back and you can watch them as prequels. But right now, let's figure out a way to kind of get you. And so I am creating some sort of weird backdoor way into the thing, because I think what I'm going to do next after the Spider-Man, because I have to watch out for when we get to the big Avengers Endgame and all that.
I almost feel like at a certain point you're going to need to do the Iron Man, like the early Iron Man 1, Captain America 1. I don't think you need to do Thor 1, if I'm honest.
Well, he's very first in Iron Man. He gets it. From Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And so then I'm going to get him into Thor Ragnarok. So I kind of feel like I might be outfitting it in such a way where he might not know everybody, but he's seen enough of these other ones and he kind of can get it. Yeah. Right, exactly. I'm just like, let's just go this way because I want to keep them watching, and that's the tricky thing. It's hard. You can't, these kids they get upset.
And there's so much. They have so much that's available, so that they don't have to suffer through bad origin story movies. They don't have to suffer through all those early all that nonsense. I just watched. I don't know. Maybe they're. Wouldn't be into. Oh, maybe they would be. I've just rewatched the Nolan Batman trilogy.
Ooh.
Which is absolutely fantastic. And all I want now is there to be extended cuts of these. I would like the way that, like, I think the Lord of the Rings trilogy really benefit from those extended cuts. I think Nolan's Batman trilogy longer would be incredible. And so that I want that.
I wonder if there isn't any extra meat on those bones, because it feels like he is taping
maybe
I mean, now I will say this, if you've not seen Weapons, you got to go see Weapons in the theater. It's
Haven't
fantastic.
Seen it yet. Very excited.
June is obviously in Weapons, and I won't say anything about it, but I will say.
And if you don't know, Weapons is the new movie from Zach Kreger, who made the movie Barbarian. So a lot of people have seen that. So this is the next movie from the same creator.
And you don't need to know anything about Barbarian to watch this one, but the way I've been describing it to people is it's like Paul Thomas Anderson meets John Carpenter. There's a fun,
so cool.
It's fun.
Great.
It's really well done. And my point on that was, a lot of people have asked June, like, oh, well, the script must add so much more crazier stuff in it. And she's like, no, it was what it was. And I think that when you have a filmmaker, especially at least the way that Zach approached this movie, he knew what he wanted. He got what he wanted, and that was it. There was no confusion on what he was getting. And so it's always interesting. Like, those filmmakers seem like there's a lot less. Although I will say, I can share a little story out of school. This is good. I was on the Universal lot last week, and if you've online at all, you will see that they have been shooting the Odyssey, Nolan's new movie, The Odyssey, on the back lot at Universal. And apparently from the ET parking lot at Universal Studios, you can watch them shoot The Odyssey.
Funny.
It's a boat out on the water during thunderstorms, and then there's another grouping of houses on the other side of the lot that can also watch it. Now, what can you see? You see a boat in the water with rain and thunder. You're not really seeing anything, and it's the boat that we already saw in the IMAX commercial for it. And apparently, they are pissed. Like, Nolan is furious that anyone is seeing a boat in the water from hundreds of yards away. Like when I say you don't even see people or cameras, you are just watching like big overhead lights. And I was talking to one of my friends there at Universal. It's like, you cannot imagine the amount of phone calls that we have gotten that there's essentially like bad security footage of a boat that has already been revealed in the preview in water. And I was like, that is a filmmaker that gets to spend that much time being mad that nothing is revealed. No, it's not like, oh, you got the costume.
Yeah.
Nope. No possibility for anything.
That's so funny. That's great. But I mean, like, also, like, shooting it on Universal a lot, that's very public.
Yeah.
That's very funny. Great. I love it. I'll just shout out at the very end here. Alone season 12 is airing. It's Alone in Africa for the first time.
Ooh.
They're in a desert climate. It is incredible. The Amy Sherman Palladino ballet show Étoile has already been canceled, but don't worry, I watched every episode and it was great and insane. The Predator animated movie Killer of Killers.
Yes.
Incredible. Absolute blast.
Oh, that's amazing. I love
Absolute
that. That
blast.
was fantastic.
And I'm very excited for Dan Trachtenberg's new Predator movie. Dan Trachtenberg, who did Prey some years ago. Just absolutely fantastic. Anyway, I've got a bunch of other stuff I can shout out, but for another time.
Yes, we'll do it. We have so much more to talk about. Great to finally get back to just us.
Just us, just chatting.
All right, that's enough of me and Jason gabbing about TV. I want to remind you that if you go to our Dashery store, that's our new store. If you go to hdtgm.com, it's run by TeePublic. I don't know the difference ultimately, but it's better for the artists. It's better for us. You can get any design from the show in a sticker, on a coffee mug, on a laptop sleeve, on a sweatshirt, on a onesie. You could do whatever you want. So you don't just have to get T-shirts. If that's not your thing, wearing like T-shirts, just get a sticker. I've got some great How Did This Get Made stickers. Also want to let you guys know that, just to bring it back up, that Grandpa Shark sticker is going to look pretty badass on anything you want to put it on. All right, let's talk about next week. Next week, we'll be going from a guy who hacks to Jack, who's back. That's right, we'll be covering the 1988 serial killer thriller Jack's Back, starring James Spader, Cynthia Gibb, and Robert Picardo. IMDb calls this film a movie where a serial killer is in Los Angeles celebrating Jack the Ripper's 100th birthday by committing similar murders. But here's the twist, people. It has nothing to do with that. Rotten Tomatoes rates this film a 71% fresh. What? Roger Ebert wrote, "What makes Jack's Back worth seeing is the work of Spader as a young actor who I believe has much promise as anyone in his generation." That is true. Spader is great. This film is worth the watch. Take a listen to the trailer.
100 years ago, there was a series of murders so grisly.
Some theorize that Jack the Ripper was a medical man. I believe that would also apply in this case.
Human mutilations so meticulous.
My brother didn't kill anybody.
That an entire city was paralyzed in fear. Now, 100 years later to the day,
I didn't do it!
the Ripper has returned. Jack's back.
You can stream Jack's Back on Hoopla, Amazon Prime Video, Tubi, the Roku channel, Fubo, Pluto TV, and Fossum. In addition to Hoopla, I also encourage you to check out Canopy and Libby, which are digital media services offered by your local public library that allow you to consume movies, TV, music, audiobooks, ebooks, and comics for free. That's it for Last Looks. If you listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please rate and review us. Please also make sure that you are following us and have automatic downloads turned on. Say that again. Make sure you are following us and have automatic downloads turned on. It helps the show. We appreciate that. And you know what? Here's a little thing for you. Tell a friend about the show. It's always good. It expands our reach. You know, why not? We've been around for a long time. Tell a friend. Visit us on social media anytime you want at HDTGM. And a big thank you to our producers, Scott Sonny, Molly Reynolds, Kyle Waldron, who designs all of our amazing art on our How Did This Get Made page, and our movie picking producer, Avril Halley, who is still recuperating, and we are sending her all the best wishes we can. And of course, our engineer, Casey Holford. We'll see you next week for Jack's Back. Bye for now.